Hello and welcome to the Everyday Board Game Podcast with your hosts Daniel
And Daniel.
And Daniel, we are running straight through these.
As we mentioned in the last episode, we're doing a back-to-back recording. You won't see anything on the YouTube side or the audio side other than maybe a changed tap for the YouTubers. But we're doing this because when this is supposed to air will be when we got to record the Gen Con recap. So we want to get these out of the way before our Gen Con trip.
That's right. We have a lot. But we have a silly episode coming for you guys today. We're doing a Chits and Giggles. And this was a topic we came up with a few weeks back. And I just think it's just funny. The Scourge of the industry.
Yeah. This is so weird. And so I did some fun stuff. Stuff that I want to talk about. Things that are bad. Some are kind of serious things we have to talk about.
Sure.
But yeah, these are the things that are actually a detriment to our industry.
Yeah. But mostly you can get some lighthearted, but use this as advice. That's what we suggest,
Yeah.
Some of them are serious, some of them are not. But we'll explain our reasoning as we explain them.
Yeah, and it's going to be interesting. We're going to try to run this as a pretty decently quick episode because the last one ran about an hour and a half, so a little bit longer than we wanted to.
Debates tend to,
yeah.
Which makes sense.
We were actually cutting it down to like 120, but we kind of got off topic a couple of times.
Well, we also had some troubleshooting we had to do.
That is true, too.
His computer completely froze up, and we had to restart it.
It wasn't even my computer. It was OBS. OBS crashed my computer.
Yep.
Sorry.
No, don't talk too loudly about it. It's recording us now. It might jinx us, All right, well, we'll get into this, but before we do, so start thinking about your scourges of the industry. Make sure you post it down below. We'd love to hear your comments as we're filming this and later on as well. But before we get into it, let's talk about what we've been playing. Daniel, what have you been playing?
All right, first game I'm going to talk about is a game that we recently played with Gamehead Geek and Dammit Dom. It was Gamehead Geek's pick of the week. And I'm actually really enjoying this play again. It actually has come around for me. The one game I'm going to talk about is Raw from Reiner Knizia and 25th Century Game. Mind you, the 25th Century version of this game is the epitome. This is the best version you can actually get of Raw. This is such a great looking game. So easy to read because it has the distinct two sides. This side clears out every round. This side stays with you throughout the game. I like that. The left is going to be with you for the rest of the game. The right is going to be cleared out at the end of a round. I like it. I love the auction aspect of it. As I got these 3 tokens, which ones do I want to use or which ones do I want to force you guys to use kind of thing. I love that aspect of it. I like the simplistic turns. I also like the fact that we kept drawing the raw tiles out of the bag.
Yep.
So it's like raw. All right, we're already doing raw straight off the bat. And then you did it, and then Game Man just drew the second one right after the bat. And I'm like, come on, guys. And then I drew, but I didn't draw raw. I actually drew a tile. I'm like, haha, see, that's how it's done. So it had some good, fantastic turns. Like we talk about like memorable moments and stuff like that in game immersion. That was memorable. Raw, aha, not me. I'm not Lady Gaga on this one.
That's how I hear she likes her steaks.
All right, and then it's well produced, like I said. This 25th century version of it, whether you're getting the regular one or all the upgraded different versions, because there's like the one that's all the wood, and there's the one with the acrylics. It's fantastic. And what I really liked is we integrated one of the expansions, or the only expansions into it, and it was seamless.
Real simple.
Yeah, so raw.
Hey. Excuse me, my first one that I've been playing is Compile. It's a lovely 2-player game about hacking. I played this while we're waiting for our game group to start. One of our mutual friends showed up early, and Compile is this cool little head-to-head, kind of a lane battler kind of thing. You're trying to get 10 power on a single row in order to compile that protocol. If you get all 3 compiled, you win the game. And the thing is, there's a couple of catches. First, every card has 3 little sections. That doesn't mean that there's something written in each of the sections, but the first section is an ongoing effect that just continues as long as that card is face up still. Mm-hmm. The second one is a one-time effect that continues throughout, not a one that continues. You play it right then and there, and you take that effect. The third one is an ongoing effect until that card is covered up, which if you play another card in that lane, then it will cover up that ability. So it might even be a negative effect, but it's a really powerful card. What's cool is that you can only play cards that are in their matching realm. You pick 3 of the different protocols that you have to work on. You shuffle up those 3 decks. They all talk totally different, or they all work totally different. There's like 15 in the base game or whatever, right?
Yeah.
To choose from, or 12 or something like that. With the auxiliary pack, it's like I think 15. And they're all fully compatible with each other, and they all play off of different ideas. And it's just so cool, so brilliant how it works. But then on top of that, every card can be played face down as a power of 2. So you might be able to flip somebody who has an ability that's really powerful, but that doesn't mean that it's going to be that strong. It has everything. It's smart, it's quick, beautiful components, great design. It's awesome.
All right, and Board Game Bard adds to that, compiles everything I want from Smash Up and innovation at the same time and snappy playtime.
Yeah, absolutely. I just wish you played more than 2, but I don't know how you could do that.
What's funny with Compile, I like teasing it because it's like a running gag with us now. Every time you see Compile, I should really show you that game. And I was like, dude, I was the first one to play it with you.
I forget that though because it's not your style, right?
Yeah, because I played Compile 1 with you because you immediately got. I think we got it at. You saw it at something. I don't know which convention you saw
one of them.
I think maybe it was even the Gamma Expo or something like that. But I remember you played it. It's like, oh, it's a 2-player game. Let's just try this one out. I'm like, okay, because it was just you and me.
Yeah.
We played it and I liked it, and I kicked your butt in it.
Yeah.
So it's like
I don't remember if I've ever won that game.
Yeah, and I think I was playing like Metal, and I can't remember the other ones. I just remember Metal because we were actually listening to metal music while we were playing it.
Oh, I know, yeah. And then the new one that's just coming out, it's based off of the 7 Deadly Sins. Ooh, fascinating.
Yeah, I'm fascinated by that ones because like we were talking about, it's like, how do you get lost in there? And you're like, you do that? I'm like, no, that's greed. But how about this? That's envy.
Yeah, so I'm curious. Yeah,
so it'll be interesting how they do it. All right, the second game I'm going to talk about is another one that we've played. I mentioned it in the last podcast on Board Game Breakdown, a game that I played from the same company. I actually prefer this one better. But then again, it's also because it's a poker derivative. We played Combo from Equan Quan and Happy Camper Games, originally known as Surfasaurus Rex, I believe. I liked it because it is a fun poker style game, but you're also egging people on. So again, talking about game immersion, when it's that table talk, it's like, hey, I'm putting a 4 out there, guys. Get into the 4 game over here. Because what I like about it is when they score, and they score like poker hands. So a straight flush is going to score you a lot. A straight's going to score this way. And you're just going down the line to figure out what's going to score. And you're all playing 2 cards, and then you look at what has scored and which one is going to trigger. So a 4 of a kind is going to trigger before a straight. Yep. Or one other, like the high card and stuff like that. So it has all these different scoring, but it's not like all the poker scoring. It's like straight flush, 4 of a kind, straight. It's always 4 cards that it's going to score, and you just have to look which ones are going to work. And what I like about it is you're trying to egg people on, because this is why I think it's a very smart game, is that it's going to go from highest to lowest that scores out of those 4 cards. But the lower cards are going to score you more points because they're harder to score. So a 12 may only get you 2 points if it fully scores. However, a 4 will get you 8 points if it fully scores. And so stuff like that. And I like that aspect of it because it's like, everybody get into the 4 game. We can get a 4 of a kind. We can all score 4s and they're going to score as good. But someone else is like, I don't really know if I can get into the 4 game, but I can get into a straight. And it's the same color, so maybe we could get into that straight. And it's all like slushy and smoothie and those kind of things because they're kind of like fruit theme on them. But I just 4 of a kind, straight flush, that kind of thing. Make it poker easy for people who are familiar with poker. It's got some great art. I like those funny moments out there where you're trying to egg people on. All right, fine. You guys don't want to get into the 4 game, and I already have 1 out. There's 3 out there. All right, I'm gonna play this other 4, and now I'm in the 4 game again. Now I'm scoring both of my 4s. Screw you guys, didn't want to get in this game with me. That kind of thing. So it has some funny moments. When we talk about another thing in our gamer criteria, ease of play. This is such a simple game, especially people who are familiar with poker. Yeah. However, I could teach this to people who are not familiar with poker. My wife is not a big poker person. She doesn't really understand all those rankings. But because it gets you your player board, tells you, like, if it's this is going to score. And then you work your way down. And all the rules are there. As I'm explaining, they can follow through as we go through the rounds. They've done a great job with this one. This is Combo from Happy Camper Games.
Next game I wanted to talk about is Super Skill Pinball, specifically the Holiday Edition. This was picked up random through my random app, and I've been trying
Christmas
to play
in July, huh?
Yep, Christmas in July. And we played specifically the National Lampoon's Christmas Vacation board. This one had some interesting stuff where you're actually trying to get a Christmas bonus. It has a cool little twist where, if you're not familiar with Super Skill Pinball, it's a roll and write. You roll 2 dice, you choose one of them, and you activate your pinball. Everyone's doing the same thing. You're trying to get the highest score. You move it down at least 1 level, hit one of the features that matches the number, and once you get like certain ones down, like the bumpers, I can hit them back up. If you hit like the little drop tag things, whatever, those fall down. Once you get all those down, you get a bonus of some kind or some kind of ability. You get skill shots, all sorts of stuff. You can even try and tilt and nudge the table and hope that you don't completely bust. It was fun. But this one specifically has, unlike all the others, you only play one round. You play until your ball is done once. So it only has one. But
I forgot about that.
Yeah. I normally play 3 full rounds. It's more likely that your stuff will fall through. But this one only plays it once, and that's because, one, you have a Christmas bonus, where every time doubles are rolled, regardless, then you move the Christmas bonus up, and it starts at 1 point, then goes to 5, then 10, then 20. And at any point, you can hit 2 little tabs that are at the very top. You get both of those down, there's your Christmas bonus, you get a whole bunch of bonuses, plus a bunch of points, and then it resets for you. But if it gets all the way to the top and another double's rolled, whoop, resets back for everybody. It's hilarious when that happens. But then you have a sewer part of your board where every single time you get all 3 of the sewer parts, well, that's a gas explosion, and you can knock your ball to any feature you want, as high up as you want. So you're not using your flipper as much, and you're able to launch it back up like 3 times, and then keep triggering and then bouncing and hopefully scoring more points. It's fun. I enjoy it. It's like all super skill pinballs. It just somehow is really kind of confusing to teach at first. Once you get the hang of it, it's fun.
Yeah, I like this one. I just really like the Christmas Story one better because it's this one, the Christmas Story. There's one more.
Elf.
In there? Elf. Yeah, I hate that one. Oh my god.
Yeah.
The game is fine.
We absolutely vetoed it.
Yeah, not a fan of Elf. Yeah. All right. So my next game I'm going to talk about is a Grail game. Honestly, I've been hunting this one down. It finally is coming out for everybody now, a second edition of it. I love the studio that got the second edition of this. We just played it last week, and you actually have already played the previous version of this game. This is Camp Grizzly, second edition, from Jason Topolowski and Trick or Treat Studios. And like I said, this is a Grail game. I hunted this game for, once I found out about it, and I think it was like 2019 when I heard about this game, and it was ridiculously overpriced. Plus, if you wanted the expansions are such a massive thing. So when they said, "Oh, we're bringing it," we got a kind of a rumor that they were when we went to the Gamma Expo a couple years ago that they were trying to get the rights to this. We were talking to them, and I'm like, "Well, if you get the rights, you can just shut up and take my money," kind of thing. And they laughed. And they took my money because they got the rights. And immediately when I heard about it and went on Kickstarter, I backed it, got it. I like the fact that the limited edition has the acrylic standees. And you know me, I'm a sucker for acrylic standees nowadays. I think that's a fantastic look. It looks great. I like the fact that there's another board that was specifically for their version of it that looks really nice too. It's not a great game if you're thinking stuff like we just talked about Stonemaier, like some of the stuff that they're doing. But it's what we like a lot about gaming. It's just fun. You're rolling dice. You're making stories up. You got Otis chasing you down. You try to screw us over, and yet we still let you win the game because he's like, no, I'm just going to go over here and trigger this. I got everything.
I wasn't trying to. I was just like, I can get the ending ready. He's coming for you guys. Just fend him off real quick. Let me go trigger the end, and we'll figure it out. Right?
Yeah.
I wasn't trying to screw you guys over.
You were the loner trying to escape yourself.
Opportunistic. That's all it was.
And so we were like, you know what? Screw him. We got this, and we could do the penalty. It's fine. And we go over here, and you still were able to win the game because you were still in the camp. Yep. But it was. I was
lost in the woods, but
you were lost in the woods because
cool.
the thing happened against Otis, and you were. It's like all campers who survive are still here. It's like okay, fine. I like it a lot. It had some. I like the hokiness too. It's like it really is like those 70s, 80s slasher films like Nightmare on Elm Street, Friday the 13th, the big one. I like the fact that it's like I was joking. I was trying to get Dom to fool around with you based on the cards. Yeah. That's a thing that's in the game. Again, it's not for a younger audience. This is tongue-in-cheek slasher style film. Yeah. So there is a warning on there for 17 and older, and it does make sense. But yeah, I just had a blast. I really want to get it going with some of the expansions that just add more stuff. Yeah, I have to take this to my other group. I don't know if they're going to like it as much as I do just because they like more strategic stuff. But this is just like one of those perfect things where it's like, it's not a great game, but it's just fun.
Yeah. Speaking of not great games but fun, and also based off of campy horror movies, I played Evil Dead 2 1%. This game is just ridiculous. Like
You're
it's
just going
based
into the
on
random holidays.
it was random, but I picked this out because I was like, I know my friends like Evil Dead 2, you know, and we played this 1% game, and the idea behind it.
Your friends. It's your favorite movie.
No, of course, yeah, but I was like, no, I know they like the movies just fine. Calm down. No, I know a lot of people who like horror movies. Anyway, this game, the way it works is really simple. You have two D10s. The first player to roll 2 zeros on those D10s wins. It's 1 in 100 chance. That's why it's called 1%. And the way it works is that you go through a series of phases for each round. The phases are really simple. You have 3 different cards. They have numbers 1 through 5 twice on each of the suits, and there's 5 different suits. So it's like about 50 cards. You deal out 3 to every player, and then you start bidding on how many you think of a certain icon there is. If you're familiar with Liar's Dice, you'll know this general idea, except you're not like eliminating other people. So like the way it works is that I'll say, oh, maybe I think there's 3 deer heads, and then, oh, you think there's 4 hands. All you have to do is you have to up it up, and then you have to say what suit is amongst players. Until the next player, after somebody made a bid, says, no, I don't think there is that many of whatever it is. Then all players reveal their cards. If the challenger was correct, or no, before you reveal, everyone votes on whether they agree with the challenger or agree with the person who made the bet. Then you all reveal, count it up. Anybody who voted for the challenger will either win or lose based on whether they were correct or not. So if the bet was not true, everybody who agreed with the challenger, which could just be the challenger, gets moves on to the next round. And you keep going until there's a single person left in the round, in which they get 3 rewards. The rewards are either draw benefit cards or make a roll attempt to try and get that 1 in 100 chance. So I might roll 3 times trying to get that 1 in 100 chance. Pretty unlikely. But then there's special cards that'll let me do some re-rollings. There's some where it'll say, oh, well, like if I roll a 7, that counts as a 0 now. And so you're building up this engine to get better and better and better. Some will be like one-time actions where it's like, oh, next time I win, I actually get 5 rewards instead of the 3. Or I can skip one of the votes and just automatically move on whether I think it's right or wrong, you know. So stuff like this, you get to play into it until eventually somebody rolls 2 zeros or more likely modifies it to get 2 zeros. It just has one of the funniest rules I've ever seen in a board game, where during setup you roll both dice and add the numbers together, and that's the highest roller goes first. Unless somebody rolls 2 zeros, then they instantly win. My wife did that once before. The very first time I told her how to play the game, she was like, if I roll 2 zeros right now during setup, I win. I'm like, yeah, that's isn't that silly? She was like, you mean like this? And she called it, and it hit the table, and we're in awe. We're like, what? And she was like, yep. And she's never played it since because she had 100% win rate and never played the game. Like, that's a hilarious moment. So, yeah. Evil Dead 2, 1%.
All right, the last game I'm going to talk about is a bit bittersweet because we finally finished another campaign game. Cool. This one is Toy Story Obstacles and Adventures from Prospero Hall, and specifically cool. Cami Mandel, and printed or published by The Op. Yes, cool. So finally finished it.
Good job.
We had a blast playing it. I will say this without any spoilers, because you can still find it like on Amazon and stuff like that. Sure. Obstacles 4 or Adventures 4 and 5 are ridiculous. Oh my god, those 2 games were the main reasons we kept losing the game, because they are ridiculous. Yep. However, we loved how difficult they were. It was fun. Yeah. And funny as because my friend that I was playing with, Angel, he was not happy with the final thing because we went back to whatever we had to do, and he's like, "Oh, this seems so easy compared to those last 2 things." I'm like, yeah, because those last things were freaking brutal, and this is rough. But yeah, we had a blast doing it. This is I love this style of deck building campaigns. We've played the Harry Potter version of it. We've played this one. I do have the Avatar behind me that we're going to end up starting up that one pretty soon. I liked what it does. It's a great system that works really well, especially for deck building aspect. I love Toy Story a lot. I'm a huge fan of the Toy Story IP. I haven't watched the new movie yet, so I was like, "Hey, you guys gonna give us another adventure based off that movie?"
That'd be cool.
Do you still have the license? It'd be a nice little bubble pack. Give us that. It'd be fun. But I do like this game. I love everything about it. I love the art. And I like the fact that it's not like screenshots like the Harry Potter one. This is actual artwork that they did and how they kind of rendered it. Like some of the cards look older like the original films and some of the cards look better for the newer films. And I like that aspect of it. So they did a fantastic job. Toy Stories, Obstacles, and Adventures. And I also like the fact that they actually put the lead designer now on Board Game Geek, Prospero Hall, and then specifically Cami Mandel originally for that one. So they actually are putting the designers out of the Prospero Hall.
Good deal. All right, and my number one, what I've been playing, no, that's the last one I'm going to talk about, is Pokemon Splendor. Oh my goodness, I'm so sorry for everybody who can't get a hold of a copy of this. It's
my favorite version of Splendor.
Same. It is now my favorite version because you're going for more points. You have to go to 18, but the thing is, you can evolve your Pokemon, and so if you have a first gen Pokemon or like one of the first evolutions, first level, and like let's say I have a Squirtle and a Wartortle comes out, or I reserve him from a previous turn. If I just have the contingent that it needs, it's like, oh, well, I need like 3 other pink Pokemon to be producing pink Pokeballs. Well, now suddenly I evolved it. And then you have like the legendary Pokemon that'll give you extra ones. It's so cool. It's not that much different than regular Pokemon, but that evolution part of it, the other Splendor games, but the evolution part of it is just, it doesn't get in the way. It's thematic to the game. The pieces of components are great. And since it's like Pokemon, of course, you get you get a like shiny card. You get a foil.
Yeah, you get one foil card. Yeah. What I also like about this one too that I have to mention is that there's only one fully evolved version. So if you have the Wartortle, you better hope no one reserves that Blastoise from you.
And my other favorite part, which is completely arbitrary, it comes with a little pad of paper that's the Pokédex. And so at the end of the game, you just mark down which Pokemon you caught during that game, and your goal is to catch them all throughout every time you play it. I love that. Yeah, that's so fun.
It's fun, yeah. No, I like this one. Mind you,
I wish this would come to the U.S.
I don't care about Splendor. It's not one of my favorite games. No. I don't like the original Splendor, and I wasn't a fan of the Marvel version of it. When you're trying to collect the Infinity Stones, But this one, I am willing to bust this one out. It's so charming. It's clean. It's quick. I love the evolving of the Pokemon. It's great.
Yep.
All right. With that being said, we're about to get into our Scourges of the industry. And we left it open-ended for whatever we want to talk about. But it is for the gaming hobby as a whole, the industry of the gaming hobby.
Yeah, so we know I not necessarily point out specific games. It's just topics that we're going to be talking about for one reason or another. Again, write your Scourges down in the comments below or in our chat if you're with us live, because we want to know what you think. And we're going to be starting with our Coin of Doom. You ready? All right, my number 8 Scourge of the industry is minis. Now, I'm going to get this out of the way now. And why I think minis are a terrible thing for the hobby. And I say this in jest because...
No, he doesn't.
I do. Because here's the thing. I have a friend of ours who...
A Board Game Bard says to burn him.
Minis burn him, Here's why. I have a friend of mine who's another reviewer. He's a friend of the channels too, Adam the Fanatic. He says something that I think is really smart, and I think he heard it from somebody else. He was like, great components won't make a bad game good, but it will make a good game great. And I agree with that.
Oh, yeah.
And I think that minis have a time and a place that really, I think, have a time. Like, if you have a really epic game and you throw some minis into it, like some really big thematic characters or something that...
Cthulhu Death May Die.
Yeah, sure. Yeah. I get like a lot of those. It makes it really just seep with theme. However, here's 2 reasons why I don't like minis. One, it makes it exponentially more expensive for something that I don't think looks all that much better and physically covers parts of the board, which if your game relies on iconography on the board or smaller pieces and stuff, it covers that. It makes it visually difficult to do it. It's more engaging, it's more thematic, it's more immersive, I get it. But secondly, there's been a lot of games that have been crowdfunded, that have been crowdsourced, that have been produced to have amazing minis, and the game was subpar at best. And they essentially trick those customers into buying games that are not all that great because they have great 3D modelers. That is unfair for the industry. Whereas if you throw acrylic standees into a game, that's a great solution. Even cardboard standees, you can get a great game to have that. And if it gets the love it needs for an inexpensive game, then throw minis on top of it. I appreciate companies that do that. So, or make minis optional. Like, don't force somebody to have to drop hundreds of dollars just to play a potentially good game that's going to gatekeep it. I just don't justify it in my mind. So I think it's a scourge on the industry because of that dishonesty involved.
The opinions of Daniel are representative of him alone and not representative of everyday board games.
And they're mostly in jest, too.
Yeah. Some of mine are not in jest, but I'll get to there in a minute.
Wait till you see some of the ones I'm coming up with.
But Board Game Bard does agree with you. It's interesting that you think it doesn't make it look much better. I totally agree with the bait on stuff like CMON. Now, some of the stuff makes it look better, but the fact of the matter is a lot of those minis are mainly for people who paint minis. I agree with what you're trying to say. And it's just, hey, I don't paint my minis, so it looks like a bunch of gray plastic on the table. I like what CMON is doing with like Marvel and stuff like that, where these are the villains, these are ones that could be either or, and these are the heroes, and they're different colors, so I don't have to worry about that kind of stuff. Or the nice washes that Restoration gives you for their minis.
Sure.
But I agree with what you're saying. There's games out there. I can tell you one right now. My biggest regret when it comes to like a Kickstarter was Ghostbusters. It had great minis. The game was trash.
Yeah.
So
yeah, and also the minis broke a little bit.
A lot. Yeah.
But you know what company does it right is Van Ryder Games. All of their games are fully functional without minis. You have the pawns, you have the standees, you have what you need to do.
If you want,
but if you want minis,
yeah.
Like if you already learned, like Final Girl, for example. If you like Final Girl and you're like, man, yeah, this is worth it for me to upgrade these to have the minis in there, then they have the option for you, but it's not required to get the game.
Yeah, it's functional.
Thank you.
All right, my number 8 Scourge is something we just recently talked about on like one of our news segments, and it's something that still irks me to this day because this is not the first company that does it, so I'm not throwing Plaid Hat under the bus. But they're not the first to do it. And it irks me every time this happens, is you cancel your funded crowdfunding thing, whether it's Kickstarter, GameFound, Back to Kit, whichever it was, because you didn't set a reasonable limit. All you wanted was to say, hey, we funded in like 5 minutes, and you set a non-reliable price point. Of course it funded. People are going to pay a $60 game. You're going to get that $20,000 limit based on your player total because you set that limit. And then 3 days later, once it stagnates, you're like, oh, we're not hitting what we actually need. So yeah, so it gets me a little hot and bothered about that because
it's slamming the table over there.
It's just,
we apologize for the headphones.
It's you put $20,000, but you needed $100,000 to make sure it legitimately buys. It's not fair to the consumer. And if you do that on a regular basis, I'm not trusting you as a company. Plaid Hat, this is the first time they've ever done it, so I'm giving them the benefit of the doubt. But this is, several companies have done this. Restoration has done this before, but theirs was more of along the lines of like, hey, we're canceling this because we understand there's a lot going on and we think we can do better. So they pushed it to November, and guess what? They blew it out of the water because they moved it away from certain things. So I get it. I understand this is a business, and you're trying to make everything look nice when it comes to trying to entice new people to back this project. But it looks bad as a business that's saying, hey, this is $20,000, but we actually need $150,000 or $1 million. Well, at least set it to something realistic. If you need $1 million, put it to $100,000. You're going to be able to make that pretty good in a couple of days if it's a good game. And that's the issue is like, Plaid Hat is just the most recent one to do this. CMON has done it. So has Restoration. So it's not the only company, but it irks me because every time luckily, I don't usually back a lot of those games that I want. But if they're going to do that, I might not back them afterwards. Like say I back that one that just happened, Monolith, right away. And then they're like, oh, it didn't fund, so we canceled it. I'm like, why should I come back to you when you do put it back on? If it's a game that maybe I'm truly interested in, then maybe I'll look at it again. But other than that, if I'm something's like, I like Plaid Hat stuff, I'm seeing what they're doing, I'm like, I'm done. I'm out. Bye. See ya. I don't want it anymore. So yeah, just put a legitimately decent that you think could work for you funding, and you'll keep going.
I love what Board Game Bard said. I'm going to reiterate some of their comments. First off, like, would pre-paints change your mind? They don't change my mind.
No, they become more expensive.
Yeah.
It depends on the game, but the kind of stuff that goes in crowdfunding for the pre-painted minis are ridiculous. Like Avalon Hill, they're doing the Heroescape. If I can get some of them that have the pre-paint, that's fine. That doesn't bother me any. But I don't need the whole thing, the kit and caboodle kind of thing, because they're just expensive.
Yeah.
Give me a nice wash on them. I'm fine with that.
Yeah.
What is it the Awakened Realms does? Sundrops?
Oh, yeah, like the little wash and stuff on it. Yeah, it's cool. And then I like what Board Game Bard also said, like, cancel funding equals take my catch to FLGS.
Yeah, exactly.
And then you'll decide later on if you want to back it again,
exactly.
right? So maybe you didn't have the money that time. And then, yes, this is only our number 8.
8.
On to our number 7s. Here we go. I'll be starting this one off again. My number 7 is something that wasn't too bad. Like, it's never been super bad in the industry until the last couple of years. And unfortunately, a lot of companies have stopped sending stuff to the US. This is shipping costs. And not just shipping costs, any kind of transit costs, as you can imagine. Tariffs are a thing. We live in the US. So they're charging tariffs to different countries for different reasons. I'm not going to get into that. That's beside the point. But shipping costs make it incredibly difficult. I was talking earlier how I play Pokemon Splendor. Well, you and I spent way more than a copy of Splendor to pick up the copy of those games.
Were smart about it, though,
but
because we worked as a group, because it was you, me, Gamehead Geek. Mm-hmm. You and me also got the Point City version, the Eevee version.
Yeah, the Point Salad.
Salad, yeah. So... we worked as a group, which made shipping a little easier.
It did, right. But we had to plan accordingly for that.
Yes.
You know, just to make sure, because, like, that's the thing, right? Those were only available in Korea. They were imports. We had to get them separately. But, like, I mean, even now, like, stuff that is land connected, like Canada or Mexico, it's still hard to get something shipped to us. And you and I don't exactly live in the least remote areas. I mean, we live in a decent enough sized city. But, yeah, I mean, it's, like, it's so much. Oh, and then Board Game Bard. Oh my goodness. We'll talk about that in a second. But like, it's increasingly more difficult. I just ordered a game that's normally like a $20 game, $30 game in Europe, and it cost me like over $60 just to get here because I wanted it because it was nominated for the Spiel des Jahres.
Morty Shop?
Morty Sorty Magic Shop, yeah. And it cost me a lot of money to get it, but I knew I was going to like it, you know, which is good. I saw some reviews. It looked just like my style of game. But it was definitely more than I normally would have paid for it, you know, just because of that extra shipping that I had to cost. And then on top of it, I spent a not zero amount of shipping on a game found last year, which did fulfill and then got lost in shipping. And so I spent money on top of not getting a thing. So it irks me. Scourge on the industry is shipping costs. It was brutal.
It got made right, which is kind of cool. It
got made right, which the post office did the right, and the company helped me out a lot. So, yeah, it all worked out in the long run, but it was a lot of work to get to that point.
All right, my number 7, and I think this actually should be higher on my list, but I'm just gonna leave it as it lies. These are in no particular order, just how I thought of them. I guess is where it was.
Well, mine are in different order, yeah.
Yeah, because this is a big one, and this one really irks me, and it actually affects you too, because we've talked about it before. This is the Board Game Geek review bombs for pettiness, really. This one irks me like you wouldn't believe, because play the game. Don't be like, oh, because I don't like this person's politics, I'm going to rate their game a 1, even though you haven't played something that just came out. Or you even mentioned, I haven't played it, but I don't like this guy as a person. Or my personal favorite that we talked about is the person that reviewed your game, and it's like, oh, the publishers reviewed this as a 10, so I got to rank it as a 1 or something like that.
Yeah.
It's just dumb. You look like an idiot. And I know I'm supposed to be friendly, but that just makes you look petty and ridiculous. Yeah, and then the before the game comes out, before it ships, just because you don't like someone, you haven't played the game, but you get to review it as a 1 because it's a Stonemaier game. You think it's going to be doing really well because they have a lot of games in the top 100 because people like their games. If you don't like the game after you play it and you rate it a 1, that's perfectly fine because you've at least tried it and know what it is and what you're doing. But then when you rate it, just because it's a Stonemaier game, or just because it's the publisher rates it something and you have to offset it, or you review bomb a game because you want your game to become number one. That was a whole big thing around that time for like Gloomhaven and Brass, because everybody was pushing Brass up. Okay, fine. You want your game to be number one. You don't have to review bomb the game that's already number one just because you're trying to push your thing. I think BGG needs to get the rating system better. They need to be like, hey, this is out, but you cannot review it yet unless you can prove that you got a review copy or something like that.
Yeah, or playtest.
Or playtest it, something like that. It's just, again, you just look petty. And so, yeah, it's ridiculous.
You know, had I thought of this would have been on my list. I couldn't agree more. And because we've had rants about this, I couldn't agree more. Had I thought about this would have been my list. But it's not on my list because I completely forgot. It just irks me. It really, yeah. I mean, we've had that whole thing. Like, it's, you know, and especially like if you haven't played the game, the truth of the matter is don't ever rate it if you've never played it. Because the rating is for playing it. There is forums for a reason. State your opinion. State your dissatisfaction. Don't rate it incorrectly. Because you've never played it. And yeah, that happened to a game I designed. And that was really kind of upsetting because we didn't get many reviews on it. But like, the fact is somebody rated it a 1 because the publisher rated it a 10. Well, of course, that's why they published it. They thought it was a 10. Like, why is their opinion invalidated because they made the game? They liked it so much that they decide to do it? You're like,
exactly. Board Game Bard says he rates our podcast a 1 out of 10 because he stubbed his toe.
Yeah, exactly. Like, that's, yeah, I don't disagree with that, but yeah.
And it's like put into other media. I've never read Twilight. I've seen the movie, but I've never read the books from Twilight. I'm not going to review them. No. I know I'm not going to like them, so I don't read them. But I'm not going to review them for the people that want to be informed. I have no opinion on it. Yep. And it's like that thing. It's just like, it irks me like you wouldn't believe.
Yeah, they feel like they're being a martyr. Like, you know what? I'm willing to do this for the sake of it. You're not solving anything. You're adding fuel to the fire. All right, number 6s. Here we go.
Hey, it's you again. This time it likes you.
Yeah, this poker chip likes me today. Hear me out on this one, okay?
Oh, something I like then, okay?
No, it's not something you necessarily like. It's just my number 6 is daylight savings time, and let me explain.
Oh, I don't disagree with you on this one.
Daylight savings time. I mean,
it messes with our podcast.
It messes with our podcast for one, because not everywhere in the world does daylight savings time. We do here in the U.S. It makes it weird. It makes it odd for other people outside of our areas, whether they do or don't celebrate.
I know where you're going with this specifically, too.
But, like, it doesn't, like, right now there is a law that is trying to make it its way to be where daylight savings time stays on in the United States, which is fine.
No, it's not.
It's not. But because that will throw off our time from everywhere else. Which
not just that. It's statistically not good because early morning starts in northern stuff. Kids are going to school while it's still dark.
Sure, yeah, but we are leaving school when it turns dark too.
Yeah, like, but it's better.
No, I get it. I'm
statistically, it's been proven. They did it in the 70s and it didn't work out.
No, it's just the whole changing of the thing throws you off physically. I mean, I want it to be on still because it makes summer days much later and we have more daylight to play more games. But then the more time you're outside, the less time you're inside playing board games. The more time that we have bad weather, I almost put like rain as one of these. I'm surprised I didn't actually, but I was like, well, if you lose electricity, how are you going to see the lights if it's dark outside? You can't play games that way. Mm-hmm. You know, it's like really... You said that the people who are review bombing are petty. This is my petty pick. I just don't...
I'm surprised you haven't even mentioned the big one.
Go ahead.
We do our trades in freaking Arizona, and it's a pain in the butt to drive over there when they're behind us an hour, and it's going to be permanent.
It's a weird one, I know. This is more of like me just ranting and raving about the time system, but...
I thought you were talking about the Bookman run.
Well, that's part of it. That affects me directly, but I think it's bad for the industry, specifically having a constant...
Statistically, it's actually bad for people's health, too.
Sure, yeah.
So
there you go. Daylight savings time is my number 6 scourge of the industry.
All right, so
they get weird from here.
Mine doesn't get weird. This one's another one that irks me a little bit. Number 6, scourge for me, and again, this is not really in particular orders. But again, it goes into crowdfunding. Spread out your crowdfunding. I get you're trying to avoid December and you're trying to avoid January. I get it. People spend a lot for Christmas and people don't have money in January because they spent a lot for Christmas.
Sure.
But you still have February through November.
Yeah.
Maybe February through October.
Yeah.
That's still a good amount of months. Come on, man.
Stretch it out.
Stretch it out. Not everything has to be the 4 same months. I don't need everything to land in March. I don't need everything to land in June. I don't need everything to land in like July, right before Gen Con, because you're not going to show the game to me at Gen Con, and I don't need everything to be in October. Spread it out. There's several months in there. You got February, you got March, you got April. I mean, come on. I don't need every big one that's going to cost me $100 to $60 to $100 or more if it's like a big one like Cthulhu Death May Die at one time. I don't need to make that choice. You want more people to play your games? Spread out the crowdfunding. More people can get into it by playing the games and getting them when they need it. It's just, it drives me insane, the fact that I had to back out of several Kickstarters because like I needed to pay the money for the City Collection. It's just like, that is ridiculous. You want my money, make it easier for me to spend my money.
Yeah. And I almost did a spit take
Because of Board Bar. That's why I had to start looking this way so I didn't see the chat.
That's great. We'll talk about it in a bit. Yeah.
Sounds like a poor person.
Sounds like a poor person. That's just hilarious. Just the way we're, yeah. I can't do it justice. I really can't. That's so good. All right. Number 5s. Here we go.
I get to start something. All right. My number 5 is, and this is just actually specific because I saw a review of a game that was like, that makes no sense what you're talking about. And we just played a whole series of games that make no sense about what the game is about.
Yeah.
And it is, make your game titles make sense. I will give you credit where credit is due. Your titles...
Hold on. Please record this.
Your titles actually make sense what your cards are doing or your games are doing.
Yeah.
Matches, you're making matches. Simple. Hit me, you're literally playing blackjack in a sense in cooperative manner.
Yeah.
That makes
sense. But you're
sense.
also punching each other.
Yeah, exactly. But that's the thing. It makes sense. Ravel, on the other hand, this is my gripe, but that's not a you thing. That is your publisher thing. It is gaming titles that make sense. We just played the entirety of the Cities collection. The Cities collection of Stefan Feld. We're huge fans of it. You can go watch the videos, and the review will go out later this month. Tell me, does any of the things feel like the city you just played? One for me. One of those feel like any of the cities I played.
Nassau, maybe.
That's the only one.
Maybe.
Nassau is the only one that kind of felt the city aspect of it. Everything else is like Hamburg. Oh, I have cards and I can become mayor. Okay. Amsterdam.
Definitely not Valencia.
No, yeah, Valencia. Why is there a matador here? There was nothing.
I actively want to never visit Valencia now.
Like, Barcelona makes sense. You're building up Barcelona as that you're trying to impress that architect.
Yeah.
Endeavor Deep Sea. That's telling me what I'm doing. Galileo Galilei. We're exploring the things by historical aspect of it. These make sense.
Yeah.
Valencia. Describe Valencia to me just by that title. What am I doing?
Am I explaining what I think the game should be based on that title?
Yeah.
Or what you're actually doing?
Exactly. Exactly. I tell you Valencia, you're like, yeah, exactly. Make your titles make sense. And the reason why I picked this up, I just watched the Dice Tower review of a game called West Story. Not West Side Story, West Story. A Western town building game. It plays like Space Base. And it's called West Story. You're not really telling a story. You're playing Space Base Western. It is like, And it drives me insane. Cocopelli, the Stefan Feld game. That makes sense. You know what you're doing. It's basically artworks, somewhat.
Sure.
You make it make sense. So I just, the Board Game Bard saw talked about it too. Zuvadis is a prime example of this one. What?
Oh.
What? So yeah, that's my thing. Make game titles make sense.
Okay. My number 5. And, I have the feeling this might show up on your list later, but I think colorblindness accessibility and just vision accessibility, or really just game accessibility.
I would tell you this would have made my list if I thought about it.
Yeah. A lot of games are not colorblind friendly, and the only reason this is number 5, because Daniel and I are both colorblind, you know this. The only reason this is number 5 and not that is because it's only 4% of men that it affects, and almost like 0.8% of women. So it's a small factor of the population that it affects as badly. But a lot of people do have different levels of colors, and mostly, and again, this is the other reason why it's only number 5 is a lot of companies really actively like make sure that it works.
Yeah.
So it's not nearly as bad as it was like 15 years ago. But here's the thing. Nowadays, if you make a game that uses a bunch of different colors, you need to have some way to differentiate them. It's not difficult to do that. Have some kind of like correlation with like some kind of iconography or something that you could do, like a shape or some way to signal that it is a different color. If you're going to have to still use colors that are vital, then find the contrasting shades and hues that you need to do it. There's actually a really fascinating video online on YouTube that goes over this. And in this YouTube video, it specifically goes over this gentleman. I wish I remembered the name of it, but I watched it. It's like a 45-minute video, and it's about colorblind accessibility in board gaming specifically. And I believe the person who made the video is actually kind of an expert and studies color blindness. And he has color blindness, and that's what led him into this research. And he's talking about different ways, and he goes into the actual science behind it, how you can do it, how you can approach it, and it's really interesting the level that he went to. And he gave lots of great advice. Any company that's interested at all in producing games needs to watch this video. That is required watching, in my opinion, because he really does a great job and he offers legitimate advice. And one of the things he did that I thought was really cool is that his wife is an artist. So he said, hey, like throughout the video, like he first had it, he was like, hey, can you, if let's say I have 8 colors, 8 players, and you need to color pieces for them, go ahead and pick those colors. And he broke down like how she did it, right? And he was like, no, like these 2 don't work and this is why. And then he showed her like the first quarter of the video. And he was like, now knowing what you know, go ahead and paint me like different player pieces, right? And then she started adding iconography. She started adding different shades, really focusing. And then he watched how she evolved as an artist, like making it more accessible for colorblind people. It was a really fantastic video and it was really well done. I wish again, like colorblindness for board gamers, like it's a YouTube video, it's like 45 minutes long. Go watch it whether you're colorblind or not. It's fascinating to watch if you can appreciate videos like that. I was very impressed with it. So anyway, this hands down, like I said, it's not as high as my next 4, but because it doesn't affect as many people, and mostly companies are pretty good about it. But yeah. There you go, my number 5.
To answer your question, no, there's others. There's people who have mobility issues. There's people who don't know how to hold or can't hold cards because something with like arthritis or stuff like that. Low vision.
Low vision, yeah. Like just small fonts on it, right? Yeah. All right, here we go. Number 4s.
All right, and for me, this is going to be fun. We've talked about this before. Dumb box sizes differentiations. There is, like, I love Trick or Treat Studios, but their weirdness with their box sizes are a bit much for me. Because you got a game like Camp Grizzly, which is not really a Ticket to Ride size box. A little bit wider, a little bit taller. Yeah, it's fine. It's hard to actually find spaces other than with other Trick or Treat Studio games to put on my shelf. But then they have their smaller games that go in these little boxes that are like coffin boxes, but they're smaller. They're actually a little bit bigger than that one right there. I mean, look at that. Look at that. It's just...
Yeah, it's awkward.
It's awkward. It's hard to find spaces on them on the shelves that will fit with other boxes that what you're trying to do. But they're not even the worst offenders in that. Because here is also the big thing. Is with the box sizes is my big pet peeve on this is you give me a small box size and a lot of stuff. Devere, looking at you. I can't even put the expansion in the same box because both of those are so full. Give me a big box at least, or give me a Ticket to Ride size box where I could put these stuff in here. Garp Hill was really bad about that for a while too, with their small box and jam packed and stuff. I remember when I first got Paladins of the West Kingdom, it was box lift with the stuff that you gave me for the base game. the base game. I didn't even put an expansion in it. It's the base game. That's annoying. You don't get you or Machikoro. All this big box, stack of cards like that. It's like, come on. I understand you're trying to sell these games and you're putting them on the shelf. But, I mean, nowadays, they're actually been pretty good about it. And I'm going to do a little show and tell here. Collect. It's a very simple, nice box size. It's just enough to hold cards because it's a card game. Makes sense. And it's an impulse buy. You want people to buy your card games? Put it up at the register. Boom. All Play's been actually pretty good about it because if it has these kind of components, it goes in this box. If it's a small card game, it goes in this box. If it's a larger game, then it's going to go into a slightly larger box. They only have 3 box sizes, and they're actually fairly even with their things.
Yeah.
But I'm looking at Trick or Treat Studios. My big component here is Devere. Yeah, the Quaxaquedlinburg combo box was so massive for 2 expansions before it went over to CKMY or CMYK.
CMYK. Yeah.
I get why they have it this way too, but it also annoys me. Magical Athlete for CMYK. Oh my god, it's like, come on, people. I get what you're doing, but it's not good for the people with their shelf space. And I have limited shelf space, so I gotta decide, is that worth it for me to keep, or do I want to keep this weird shaped box over? Or, oh my god, what was that one game? Junk Orbit, when it was in that little tube. Yep. That is a ridiculous thing to keep on the shelf. How am I going to keep that with the rest of the games that I already have when I have limited shelf space? Yep. Think about the people. Or there was another game that came in like a pizza box size, like a triangle pizza box type thing. It is so weird. It's like, come on, people. Enough with these weird box sizes. Give me Ticket to Ride or smaller.
Yep. Board Game Bard asked a really good question. Do you like getting a card game in a big marketed box, though? No.
Most of the time, if it's just a small stack of cards, I'll move them into a photo case and keep them in a stack of photo cases.
So we keep, can I use yours real quick?
I was going to say there should be one.
Here's a photo case right here. You get a little it's like a 4x6 inch like little plastic thing. And they sell cases at like Hobby Lobby, Michael's, like craft stores, and you can fit like 16 of those in like it looks like a briefcase.
The one he was showing you was Trio.
Yeah. Machikoro can fit in one of those. No joke, because I have Machikoro 2 literally in there, in one of them. Not that one, but... And the other one that really, that threw me off that I like to point out, Star Wars the deck building game fits in a photo case.
Yeah. That's my thing.
Anyway. Alright, my number 4 is 4, right?
Yeah.
Okay. Before I say what this one is, feel free to send your hate mail at daniel@everydayboardgames.com. Cats is the number 4 Scourge.
I'm surprised this is not number 1.
Cats is the number 4 Scourge of the industry. And this goes twofold. I know people love cats. I get it. I wish publishers didn't just make cat games because they wanted to sell it to people who like cats. I wish that they didn't have to. Cats are a great theme if it makes sense thematically. Fireside Games has a game called Crazy Cat Lady, or Here Kitty Kitty.
Here Kitty Kitty.
And it's Crazy Cat Lady. Yeah. You're luring cats on your lawn. That's hilarious. That's a great theme. It works really well. It's thematic. Boop. Cats jumping on the... cats jumping onto a mattress, scaring the crap out of other cats in a boop fashion. They'll jump away. That's thematic. That works actually really well. That makes a lot of sense. But the thing is, like, what was the one that we played? It was like an Egyptian, cat explorer.
Oh, Run.
I mean, like, I love the publisher of that. I forget off the top of my head.
25th Century was the one that brought it over to
They're
the States.
phenomenal, right? 25th Century. And I don't mean to throw them under the bus because they are phenomenal.
I'm surprised you didn't go Malim.
Yeah, Malim is one of them too. But like, why does it have to be cats? But why? If it has nothing to do with cats, cats are not going to explore anything. They're not looking for treasure. No, they're not. They're not going to go into the bottom of a pyramid. No. They're just going to hang out outside with you and wait for you to feed them. That's what they're going to do. And you guys know that. They're not going to go to space, especially. Dogs, monkeys, they'll go to space. It's not their choice, but they'll go to space before cats will. Cats will look down upon the people who go to space. Like, it's just... I don't understand stuff like that. Like, why that? But no, really, where I'm going with this, though, specifically, and why it's a scourge on the industry is not because of the theme.
Because he almost got a game made as a cat
No,
game.
no, that's not why. That's not why.
That is true.
No, again, if I designed a game and I thought it made sense thematically for a cat theme, sure, that makes sense for you and your company. Perfect, I'm in. But no, the Scourge. They like to live and or eat and tear up and or scratch and poke holes in games and or I don't know, poop in the boxes because that's what they're trained to do sometimes. They're not great for that. They are really high on the allergen list as far as people, a lot of people. Our friend here included is allergic to cats. Well, there's a cat that lives in my house, and while I'm not allergic, that makes it tough for him to play. And their fur gets everywhere. Like, so there is never going to be a time like, yep, okay. Like, I have fur on me. It's probably from his dog, honestly. But, that's beside the point. It's going to get there. It's going to mess with allergies. It's going to cause all that issues. Cats are quite the scourge. Again, I feel like I need to apologize, but send your hate mail to Daniel@everydayboardgames.com.
And I was just letting Board Game Bard know about what almost happened to you. One of his games before a company went defunct was signed, and they almost put a cat theme on it.
Yeah, and again, if it would have made sense, it would have made sense. But mine was a stock market game, which really didn't make sense for, like, every theme that they threw on me. I'm like, okay, I can see that. Okay, if I did it this way, I could do that. That makes a lot of sense. Okay, I can see that too. And then it's like, all right, we're going to make it a cat show. It's like, that doesn't make sense. I can't figure that out. Like, thematically, I can't figure it out. I'm willing to work with publishers, but this was like the 6th theme that they changed it to, and I was like, I genuinely can't figure out how
Cthulhu made sense because it's just madness.
Cthulhu makes sense. Vegetable markets make sense. Abstract makes sense. Like, all of it. Like, all the themes that we had. Pixel, like, exploration. Sure, I could make that make sense. I couldn't make cats make sense. I tried. All right.
We're having too much fun with this one.
It's like, what am I doing? Bribing the judges for a cat show? I just don't know. Sorry, I forgot that I need to flip the coin. I'm so distraught. Number 3. Here we go. I'll be starting this one off. This one hurts me deeply, and this is poor card quality.
Oh, this one does hurt because you're a former magician, so you...
Yes, I've spent many years handling cards. That was my thing. I was a magician.
Fondling cards.
Why you gotta make it weird?
Because this has already been a weird podcast.
I'm just shuffling things, throwing pens out of anger apparently now. No, I handle cards. I know how to shuffle them really effectively. Pardon me. I know how to handle them. And okay, there's a lot of things that make card quality bad. First, the card stock itself. You need at least 300-pound paper. 250 is still like pushing it, but like you need heavy enough card stock that it's not just gonna be flimsy. Secondly, they need to be cut properly, like not just like a small little like dull stamp, which you could tell if it is. If the cards curve on one side, that's a bad cutter. You need to be able to cut full stacks, and they all need to be paramount. Secondly, you need to make sure those sizes are exact. I have multiple expansions for Machi Koro, and some of the cards are slightly shorter than the others. That is obnoxious. Don't do that. Thirdly, you need the printing, the color to be exact. You need to make sure that you have white borders on things, or light colored borders, so that way wear and tear doesn't make it obvious that is. And most importantly, you need a good finish on those cards. If they are to be shuffled at all, there is nothing worse. There's a thing in Magic called clumping, where the cards... You try to slide one card away and like 12 cards goes with it because it's all clumped together because they're just paper rubbing on paper, and that friction does it. You need a plastic coating or something like a linen finish or an air cushion finish as bicycle brands. Some way that you can have those cards be riffled, spread, splayed, dealt properly, and can handle shuffles if that's what you're planning on doing. Do not give people low quality cards, because I know all you have to do is just a little bit more, especially in deck builders.
I was gonna say deck builders,
especially in deck builders.
If it's gonna require a bunch of shuffling that like deck builders do, you better not skimp on the
Yeah.
card quality. You could get away with something that if you're just shuffling it once and
Yes.
then you're pulling things, you're fine.
Yes.
You could skip a little bit, not a lot, a little bit. But yeah,
Yes.
I agree with you. If it's something like deck building or a card game like Trio or Poker Derivative,
Yep.
stuff that is used to be shuffled a lot, yeah.
Yep. There you go. Card
Number
quality. Number 3.
All right, my number 3 is kind of just because you and me are about to do something, or when this airs, we had already just did something. But this is a big thing for me too. I have a very strong olfactory system when I can actually smell when I don't have allergies, like if I go over to his house with cats. And this is Conbio. Come on, people. Take a shower. Come on. Be courteous of other people. And this is a big issue too. Not just cons. Like if you're going to a game night at a game store or something like that. The one of the reasons we stopped going to the local game shop was because my wife had issues with one of the players, and because it's just nowhere you try to get away from him. She could be sitting across the table on a long table and still smell him. It's an issue. And we didn't really see a lot of it at BGG Con, but sometimes at the Gamma Expo when we did it, there was an issue there sometimes. Another one is I'm afraid it's going to happen at Gen Con. Dice Tower,
I'm sure it will.
Dice Tower West was when I went there in 2019. That there was an issue with that too. It's like, take a shower before you go to the con. Put deodorant on. I actually personally keep my stick of deodorant in my bag just in case something like that happens, because I want to be courteous to other people. We're there to have fun with other people. And don't even get me started on those pheromone maxing people. Oh my God, this is one of the dumbest.
I don't even know what that is.
People allow them to be stinking because they think their pheromones are going to attract someone from the opposite sex if they're into that kind of thing. It is literally a thing. You should check it out.
No,
it is disgusting.
Why should I check that out?
It's so weird. It's so dumb. It's
I
like,
want to check that out.
No, you could read the research on it. It's just, oh my God, it is so bad. It's like, come on, people. We're there to have fun. Don't make it hard for me to, get through the day without going, oh God, my nose. It's just rough. Come on, people. Just take a shower. You're staying in a hotel room. They have one in there.
Hopefully.
What are you staying in a Motel 6 that doesn't have a shower head?
I don't know. I was flooded when were you with me when the bathtub flooded?
Oh yeah, it was. They moved you to a different floor. We were on the same floor. Yeah. But we were doing a project and we got stuck. Yeah, but yeah.
Wild.
Yeah, that's my one thing. It's like, come on, make it easier for everybody.
Yeah.
And especially for the opposite sex who wants to come to these things but are afraid to.
Yep. All right. Number 2s.
All right, my number 2, and this is gonna be my cat rant here, and this is gonna be a big issue for me.
Wait, you're having a cat rant?
But it's not cats. But it's the one thing that drives me insane in board gaming. It goes back to box sizes. Stop it with the 10 boxes. Enough with these stupid things. Game Right, I'm looking at you because you're the big offender of this. Yeah, some of these work. I do have a couple games that have it. One of them is funny because it works. It's the Fallout Shelter. Yeah,
sure. Which, by the way, we really love Game Right.
Yeah, we love Game Right.
Their games are amazing. They're definitely worth checking out. Anyway, but continue.
But the 10 boxes... I have, if I get a 10 box, it's ridiculous to try to figure out a spot to put it on the shelf. No. I have my my lunchbox pail for the Fallout Shelter all the way at the very tippity top on that shelf over there because that's the best space for it. I have the new one from Eric Lang and Phil Walker Harding over on this shelf over here because it's the best place to put it because it's safe and I'm not going to crush it. But if you get it from shipping, you better hope people... wrap that sucker good because it's going to be dented and dinged up by the time you get it. You can't put anything on top of it because it's going to crush it. It is oh my God, it just drives me insane. Difficult to store, limited shelf space for some people. It makes me very hesitant to buy a great game. There is a reason why I don't own any of the Forbidden games in my thing. And I love the first 2 Forbidden games, especially Forbidden Desert. Because I hate that 10 box. And I'm not putting it in my collection. I already have enough 10 boxes. I have 2. I have enough. I have 2. And it drives me insane because I have very limited shelf space and then I have to find some random place to put these. Oh my God, I don't like 10 boxes.
Yep. Cool. My number 2. There is a huge lack of conventions here in the Southwest.
Yes, that irks me.
And that is my number 2. Come on, bring them back. We miss Gamma. Gamma used to be a 10-hour drive from us, which is not close. I mean,
It's
if
not
that was
bad, though.
anywhere in Europe, you're like, you're going 4 countries away.
Yeah.
Right? Here in New Mexico, it's like, all right, fine. I could drive 10 hours. I can get there. If I flew, it'd be like, what, 2 hours? Maybe? No, it'd be like an hour and a half.
No, Vegas?
Las Vegas.
Vegas is a 2-hour flight.
2-hour flight.
It's like 145,
right?
150.
Real easy, right? But it's a 10-hour drive, which is still doable in a day, right? Pretty comfortably. But then they moved it to Reno, which is 17 hours away, which okay, you know.
Yeah, doable.
Still
2-day
doable.
drive.
It takes 2 long days, right? Then they moved it to Louisville, Kentucky, which is
Still 2 long days. It's
2
only
long days.
22
2
hours.
longer days, yeah. It's like, all right, fine, I'll do it. And now it's in Baltimore.
That's 3 days.
Come
That's
back.
3 days of driving.
Come back. I miss
Yeah,
you.
so
I love
dumb.
Gamma. I want to go, but I can't. And then all like the big conventions, Gen Con Origins, those are in like
Indianapolis, the Midwest.
Indianapolis, the Midwest area. We're so far away from that. There's no big cons around here. You would think that like San Diego and like LA would have big board game conventions, but they kind of don't.
The closest one is in California would be KublaCon.
KublaCon, and that's up in the Bay Area, which is also really pretty far away from us.
Mm-hmm.
Like,
SaltCon is another one that is still pretty far. It's like a 12-hour drive, I think, in Salt Lake City. But I think they do that in the winter, so it's like, don't want to go through snow.
Yeah, exactly. That's actually a dangerous thing. Like, Phoenix is a massive city. I'm surprised there's not a massive board game convention there, especially like during like late fall or even winter when it's nice and comfortable. Board Game Bard, we're kind of working on that. We're hoping, but I mean, I would love for there to be a good convention here. I think it's a scourge on the industry that they're so confined. There's such a small area, and they just, for some reason, just can't make it across the Mississippi River over here.
Yeah, like the good ones. Oh, the closest one for us, really, that BGG Con or Dice Tower West. Those are the 2 big ones that we can realistically get to.
It's still a massive full-day drive.
There's a RenCon in Tucson, but it's nowhere near like these big ones that are going to get a lot of publishers to it, where you can buy some stuff too. It's like
they have a handful of exhibitors, and most of them are local stores.
Yeah. So, yeah, I agree with you.
Yep.
But I'm going to go ahead and take my number 1 because it's something you've already mentioned, but this is a big thing. The first one I thought of.
You don't like cats either, do you?
No. But it is the rising prices / tariffs that make it really difficult for people to ship games over here. Board Game Bard mentioned it earlier where he tried to get something for Australia, but it was ridiculous. When we try to send games out, when we do a competition, we have to do it in the lower 48 because it's so expensive to ship. And so the tariffs, the supply chain issues, it's making games expensive. We just talked about it on last month's Board Game News, where CGE added $30 to one of the games that they're coming out with, Kingdom Come Deliverance, because of the tariff prices, and they were upfront about it. $150, $170 game that you can get in Europe, it's a $200 game here. So these things are hurting the industry in a big sense. Case in point, how many companies have already shut down? How many companies struggled because of the shipping thing?
Yep.
Synapses had to save Elf Creek Games.
Yep.
Not a local group, but people that we know and enjoy, Thing 12 Games, they're struggling a little bit because the shipping stuff is an issue. And they make card games. A lot of companies are moving. CMON is in dire straits right now, that they're making small little impulse buy card games that I mentioned earlier. This Collect game is one of those. It is, and other companies are pulling back their production lines. Now, we used to be able to have a dearth of games to choose from. You'd be lucky we'll get like 1 or 2 from a company or something like that in a year because of how much it's going to cost and how much it's going to bring over here. 25th Century, they are still doing their import thing, but a lot of companies were charging a little bit of upfront, be like, hey, because of these tariffs, I got to charge you a little bit more, making it more expensive for me. A $60 game I could have gotten before the tariffs or any of the shipping raises before COVID is a $60 game. Nowadays, that's a good $75 to $80 game. That's a 20 difference in less than 10 years.
Mm-hmm.
And it is rough for everybody. So the production is getting ridiculous. And I agree with you on the mini things. That's going to make it more expensive now,
Mm-hmm.
too, because of the shipping to bring it back over here, because the tariffs are killing companies. We've lost way too many companies recently because of tariff prices or shipping prices. So it is rough that we need to get that under control.
And you kind of touch base on my number one as well. I'm going to add to it a little bit, and then on a little sillier of a note, absurd packaging. And mine, like, agreed. I like weird shaped boxes, all these, but the worst offenders, like, I think these are even worse than tins, like, by far, is tuck boxes for anything bigger than a single deck of cards. Even if it's a double deck of cards, a tuck box is not okay because they have to sit side by side and they will just slide into each other and then it'll mess it up. You have to reach in, you have to spread it out, you have to tear up part of the box.
Mm-hmm.
If, like, the original guillotine from Wizards of the Coast was in a tuck box like that big, a hang tag, and it's not made for durability. You're buying that as a one-time packaging. Even games that, like, show, like, their stuff on the front that have, like, a little plastic window and stuff, make sure the rest of the box is still solid so that way it doesn't break in the window. And, like, one thing that I really dislike, I like putting my boards on top of my components, like getting it ready on top of a well-designed tray. If you have a window on the front of your game, you can't do that because then it covers that up. And a lot of games that had those, like, little display windows and stuff, you had to have a lot of components. You had to specifically package it underneath it just to see through it. Otherwise, you just see components randomly around in your box. Those are so absurd. I can't stand those. One-time use packaging is also stressful. Ones that, like, have the game, but then you open up, like, a hang tab or whatever. It's like on smaller games, but then you no longer have something that you can actually fit the box in. Down Up and Devere Games actually found the perfect solution to it. They have a 2-piece tuck box, but they also have a little piece of cardboard from the insert that just comes out and it's a hang tab.
Mm-hmm.
Brilliant. Thank you for figuring that out because you can still hang it up, put it on the shelves, get the spots for it. Very perfect. Open it up, cut off that top part of the insert. Mm-hmm. Boom. Now you have a good 2-piece box.
And
so smart.
Answer Board Games Bard's question before we go out. Do you think it's a good idea to add skills and text here at stateside for game production? I do like that idea, but it's also going to be expensive because here in the United States, logistically, we don't have the resources. We would still have to import a lot of the resources for that aspect of it, and it would still make it too expensive. Yep. So, yeah, we're saving the cost on the shipping, but between the labor and everything we do have to import, it's still going to roughly be the same price.
There are more than that for significant factors. You know what? But this is a good excuse for it. If you want to join in on our episodes, if you ever want to watch us live, make sure you follow us on Discord, on Twitch, and you can join us for the after show, which we're going to get into more details on that question here in just a few minutes. Yeah. But hopefully, again, the biggest example of absurdist packaging is the not obviously rectangular boxes. And what I mean by this is, like, if you see, like, Obsession here, like, perfectly rectangular box, right? But there are certain games where it's like, oh, it's a perfectly rectangular box until you try rotating at 90 degrees. You're like, wait a minute. Why isn't this fitting all of a sudden? You're like, wait, it's 90 degrees. And you can only put it one way. I hate that.
Yeah.
I mean, if it's obvious that it's rectangular, like, like, I don't know. Perfect. Okay, sure. I mean, that's
a coffin box there, bud.
Yeah. But it makes sense. It's obvious, right?
Yeah.
Like, tag team over yonder, right? That makes sense. But, like, ones that are slightly larger, no, just make it standard. Mm-hmm. That's all you had to do. Anyway, so tell us your thoughts down below in the comments. Hang out with us whenever you can and let us know whether you agree, what are the biggest scourges that you ever think of. And if you ever want to email us direct, you can. everydayboardgames2020@gmail.com. And that's whether you want to enter in future contests, give us ideas for future episodes, or just reach out and say hi. Also, we have an Instagram.com/everydayboardgames. Make sure you follow us there to see the games that Daniel and I have been playing recently. And finally, we have a Discord. Link is down in the description of wherever you're listening to this.
And all video re-uploads and reviews are found under youtube.com/@everydayboardgames. And if you like what we do, there are 3 things you can do to help us grow on the platform. Subscribe if you're not, like the video, and comment down below and tell us your thoughts on the subject.
We also stream our episodes live at twitch.tv/everydayboardgames. Make sure you give us a follow there. So you're notified when we have a live conversation and we're doing a live recording of our episodes. Like our friend Board Game Bard, always a pleasure having you in there. If you hear our chuckles in the background, Bard was getting us good with some of these comments.
Yeah.
We love it. We love it when people join in on the conversation. So thank you for that. Yeah.
And all audio versions can be found under most podcast platforms under Everyday Board Games Podcast. That includes Spotify, Amazon Music, Podbean, and Apple.
So I want to thank you so much for tuning in. As always, I've been your host, Daniel.
And I've been your host, Daniel.
And we want to thank you for listening to Everyday Board Games.
And remember, every day is a good day for board gaming.